So now we'll take a quick look of how we can make use of models and views in Backbone.js. So first of all, what we are doing over here is including _.js because that's what is required for Backbone.js to work. And then we have the development copy of Backbone.js. Here we have the copy, and as you can see, it has got loads of comment and it gives you a better understanding of how Backbone.js library is working and its functionality. After that, what we have done is we have created one app.js file. This is our application file. So inside that, we are just having a comment, and this represents the JSON which we are getting from our server. Now, in order to create a model for this particular JSON object, we'll be making use of Backbone.js. And the way we can create a model in Backbone.js is pretty simple. All we need to do is write var, and then let's consider it a to-do item. So we'll say to-do item, and notice that the first letter of every word that we have over here is capital. So that's how your class names should be in Backbone.js. And then we can simply say backbone.model.extend, and this way we have created a Backbone model class. Now after that, we have to instantiate it, and to create an instance of this class, we can simply go ahead and say var, let's say to do item. Here you will notice that while creating an instance, we are keeping the first letter of the first word as a small, and that's the nomenclature we usually follow in Backbone.js while creating instances. So we will say equals new, and then the class name to do item, and in this, what we'll do is we'll simply pass this JSON object that we have received from this server, and thus it will create an instance of our to-do item model class. Now, in order to access the attributes of this particular instance, like if we want to access the task, what we need to do, we can simply go ahead and say, let's print it out in console. So we'll say console.log to do item dot, and then all we need to say is get and the name of the attribute inside single quotes. So here we go. This will give me the value for this task attribute, that is create Backbone course. And if I have to set it, let's set it as well by making use of to do item dot set, and inside that we'll have the attribute name, that is task over here, then colon, and inside single quotes we'll have the updated value like creating BackboneJS course, and then semicolon. So this will update the attributes current value. So from create Backbone course, it will be set to creating BackboneJS course. And now if I want to see its value, I'll say console.log, and inside that I'll simply copy this from here and put it over here. So that way it should now show me two different values. First it will show me create Backbone course, and then it should show me creating BackboneJS course. So let's run this in browser and see the output. So as you can see, we have first create Backbone course and then the updated value creating BackboneJS course. So this way we can create model class and its instance as well. Now once the model is created, it passes that model object to view. So in short, we can say model provides data to view, and then it's view's responsibility to build the HTML and then pass that to the document object model. So now we'll see how we can create a view class in Backbone.js quickly. Creating a view is pretty simple. All we need to do is just create a view class. So let's call it to do view, and just write backbone dot view. So for creating model, we used model. For creating view, we'll say view dot extend, and just to keep things simple, let it be empty. And over here I'll create an instance of the view class now. So I'll say var to do view, and here I'll say new to do view, and inside that all I need to do is pass the model. So here we have created our model as to do item, so the instance of that model goes here, and that's all. you have created your Backbone view. So once that's done, we need to render the data. Now for rendering, we have to make use of this extend method. Basically, Backbone view has got a render function which can emit HTML which is provided inside these curly braces. So let's see how that works. So here what we can say is just write render function, and inside that we can go ahead and provide one HTML variable. Let's call it HTML itself equals, and then a div. Inside that we can simply go ahead and get the task attribute in this case. So we'll say this dot model dot get, and then the attribute name here, task. Once that's done, we can simply close the div now. There you go, and terminate it by semicolon. Now then what we can do is we'll simply say this dot el dot html, and inside that we'll pass the HTML variable which we created. So here we can simply call it content, just to make sure that it does not confuse you in any way. So this is the content which we are assigning to the HTML, and this el that you're seeing over here, every view that we create has a top level element, and that's why we have taken el from that. So that's all you need to do inside the render function for now. And then once you have instantiated your view, all you need to do is just call the render function here to do view dot render. Now if we want to print the contents of the render function, let's say in our console, what we need to do is we'll simply write console.log, and inside that we'll say to do view dot el. Remember the el we have over here? So by default it's a div, and that is, you'll see now in the output itself. So console.log to do view.el. Now if I refresh this page, now you'll notice that over here we are getting uncaught type error, that is undefined is not a function. What we were doing over here actually inside app.js is we were trying to make use of jQuery, and since our SneakPeek.html file was not having any jQuery installed, that's why we were getting that error. Now in order to resolve that, we have included it, and now when we run this as a fresh copy, you can see that the top level element, that $this.el, by default is a div, and inside that div we are getting the task that we have defined in our model, that is creating Backbone.js course. So this was just a quick sneak peek to understand models and views and how they actually work. We'll explore these in more detail in upcoming lectures.